First berth of the Lamu Port is 100% complete, with President Uhuru Kenyatta expected to launch it in about 2 weeks. According to the Kenya Ports Authority, the port is expected to reduce some of the traffic at the Mombasa port, with most of the transshipment cargo expected to be offloaded at the Lamu Port. Faisal Ahmed is in Lamu with more details for us on this specific story. Faisal, it's great to see you in Mombasa. Perhaps you could paint for me an image of what this means for the Lamu economy and how it would help the Lamu residents.
Thank you very much, Zinzi, back in studio. As you've rightfully mentioned, the first berth of the 3 berths at the Lamu Port have been completed. And now joining me is Edward Kamau, who's the head of corporate services at KPA. Thank you very much, Edward, for joining us. Maybe if you could just explain to us the benefits that this particular port would bring to not only the residents of Lamu, but Kenya as a whole. What sort of benefits economically and in terms of expansion would it bring?
Thank you very much. Kenya Ports Authority, as you know very well, is a state agency under the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure. And thus, the Lamu Port project is one of the Vision 2030 projects. And it's a mega project. It was conceptualized to have a total of 23 berths. Out of the 23 berths, because it's a greenfield project, as you well know, there was nothing in Lamu where the port is located, and thus the government decided to do the first 3 berths so that that could catalyze private investment from the remaining of the 20 berths. And therefore, this project is one that's not only looking at the growth of the Kenyan economy, but also the East African region. It's going to open up the northern corridor all the way to Ethiopia and South Sudan, and also Uganda. So it's a mega project that will create economic growth for the country, because it's one of the components of the LAPSET development program, where you have the port as the catalyst for growth. Then you've got the airport, you've got resource cities, you've got the highways, you've got the railway, you've got the pipeline. So it's that means that the port becomes a fulcrum, or the starting point of that corridor. And therefore then that as a country gives us the strategic advantage, because as you well know, all along the East African coastline, all the way from Mozambique, Tanzania, it's only Kenya that has one commercial seaport, which is Mombasa. But now with this, then the government becomes, the agenda of the Lamu Port becomes a very strategic agenda for the government and also the people of Kenya.
Now, yesterday we saw a few transshipment companies coming in to tour the port and maybe see the update in terms of facilities that are there. What sort of incentives are there? Because I understand the incentives by KPA to try and entice them to come and maybe bring or dock their ships there. What sort of incentives are there? Maybe if you just explain that to us.
What we did yesterday, as you saw, we had a total of 19 shipping lines and agents coming to see for themselves what has gone into the port development. The biggest objective was actually for them to experience and see, because most of them have just been hearing of Lamu Port since it started construction in 2015. But now they came to experience, see, give us the input, and give us ideas on how we can, make sure that it's operationalized in the most effective manner and optimal way. So what we did, we took them around. They were able to appreciate the kind of development that is there. They were quite impressed. And actually, some of them have committed to deliver cargo via their ships on the launch date. That's expected to be in November this year. And that will be presided over by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta. So then, after that, we took them through what the business proposition and packages, and we've got quite some offers for them. And what we are telling them is that they should take advantage of the first mover advantages. As you well know, in marketing, is that the first person who comes to take that advantage, then they get to benefit. It's a win-win situation between the government of Kenya and KPA, and as well as the customers themselves. So first of all, we've extended a promotional package to them for transit and transshipment cargo. We shall offer 30-day free storage period. Currently, that takes 15 days at the Port of Mombasa. So transshipment is that cargo that's dropped at the port, and it's destined to other smaller ports. So the bigger ships will drop the cargo in Lamu. The smaller ships will come, pick it up, take it to the island countries, as well as other smaller ports like Dar es Salaam. Then domestic cargo that's destined for the local market or Kenya market. We'll give them a free storage period of 14 days. In Mombasa and ICD Nairobi, that's 4 days currently. So we'll extend an extra 10 days so that they enjoy a 14-day storage period. Then, in terms of the port charges and port dues that are related to cargo handling, as well as the coasters that will be transshipping cargo or containers from Lamu to Mombasa, we shall give them a 40% discount on the KPA tariff as outlined in section 2 and 3 of the KPA tariff 2012. Then in terms of light dues and port and harbour charges, they'll only pay once the first port of call, either in Lamu or Mombasa. So they don't have to pay twice, and therefore then that's an advantage for them, and they can also as well grow their business that way. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamau, for giving us this interview. And as you've rightfully heard, Zinzi, the port is 100% complete. Rather, the first berth of the port is 100% complete. The second and third berths of the Lamu Port are 75%, both of them complete respectively, and they're expected to be fully completed by next year, October, with a launch date of October 23rd. As per KPA. Now, this port will allow bigger ships to come and dock at the port of Lamu, where ships that were previously unable to dock at the port of Mombasa because of the depth of the berths. Now they will be, they'll have a facility where they can come, dock, and offload most of the cargo. That's what we have for you right now, and we'll keep you up to date on the story as it continues to develop. Back to you, studio.